What is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another event video on Marvel Strike Force. Today, we have the character unlock for Peter B. Parker and his daughter Mayday here. I do have to say, this is probably one of the more creative character models and animations. My only gripe is that I think his face is a bit off. I think a lot of people kind of pointed this out, but it's just, I don't know. It's kind of kooky, for lack of better words. But anyways, in today's video, we're going to be covering everything that you need to know to get him unlocked and get him as many shards as possible, as well as completing the actual main event milestone so that you can walk away with the event item and, get further progress on the month long. So if you want to know all of that, then stay tuned. And if you're ready to go, let's boil this down. And as always, I want to do a little bit of a recap for week 3 here of Nature Nurture's event. This is my usual recap of the April month-long event. Things are looking pretty good so far. We're actually at a subtotal of 742k. Now, don't worry, you're not supposed to have this much. This is just for all of the numbers that we have to date, which is basically everything except for the final event, which is going to be Spider-Man Pavitra's event next week called Golden Hour. We don't know how many points that is going to be worth, though, at this point in time. But as long as it's worth more than this one, actually, because Earthlings Needed, which is the event for Peter B. Parker, it's only worth 56k from the main milestone. So we're going to need it closer to like the Zombie Juggernaut event, which was a Slick Outbreak of like 100k. So just to make sure that we're, of course, not just squeaking by, we want to make sure that we have like a surplus of like 30 or 40k or something, because that's usually a lot better for people. When it's really too close, I feel like they screwed something up on the numbers and then people complain a lot. So just to avoid that, I hope next week's is better. Now let's get to the actual involvement of this event. So it is a 7-day event requiring campaign energy, blitzing, and ISO 8 energy spending. We'll talk about this. This is actually, it's a carbon copy of the Void Knight Symbiote of the Spaceways event. I'm not going to hide it. They essentially did a lot of copy and pasting. There's a little bit of difference, especially when it comes to the blitzing portion. I don't know if you guys remember, but they had a 2-day ISO 8 energy spending portion in the hard mode campaigns and then 2 days of blitzing on Friday and Saturday. Now, the blitzing portion is actually not blitz your ass off for 8 rotations a day. It's just you get the fragments entirely through the milestone, which is a lot better because you don't need to do the 16 rotations or whatever over the 2 days, which is great. You just need to clear the milestone, collect your rewards, and move on. It's not that difficult, okay? So the total milestone points required for this is 350,000. The event item is, however, at 143,800. This is milestone 12. 56,000 event currency. There's 75 Peter B shards, but 35 of them are hard to get. And I do want to pivot really quickly to the event chart just to show you what I mean here. It is not amazing. You can kind of see here that the Peter B shards are on the side. There's the Flower Patch event item. There's leader shards, actually. So we should be able to get around here. But all this stuff down here, the red gear, the other Peter B shards, the diamond orb stuff, all this other red gear, and the gold, there's 3.75 million gold. You're not getting this. So don't worry about that one. Unfortunately, as far as what number milestone that we're going to get to, it doesn't seem very likely we're going to get much beyond 13 or 14. Depending on, there's not a lot of ways to get more point progress unless you actually buy like event offers. There's just, unlike other events where you can kind of push it, there's not really a lot of ways that you can push this one, unfortunately. So let's get back to the charts here. And so there's also going to be a login calendar. So I found that out more recently since the blog post on Friday. There's going to be a 5-day login calendar with some unspecified amount of orb fragments or milestone points. I don't know. And then same with the free claim. I don't have these information. So hopefully it might get you to the next milestone that I was talking about, or it'll give you a little bit more shards on Peter B than what I've calculated down below. Now, the majority of this, like 70% of the event, is entirely to do with the web milestone. This is daily blitzing that you're going to have to do. You're going to get 6,000 milestone points directly, and then 8,000 orb fragments or 4 orbs per Peter B every single day. So over 7 days, that's 28 orbs, which is a lot. So I don't know what the estimated value of his orb is going to be yet, Void Knights was around 3. So it wasn't very good, but there was a lot of orbs to open. So hopefully that we walk away with something. Now, to do this, you need 2,500 Blitz credits daily. That's around 2 Blitz rotations at 50 teams, assuming you win most of those. You do get 750 Blitz credits as a daily objective, so I've subtracted that from the 2,500, and that gives you to 1,750. We can go over to this. This is the Revenge of the Blitz web milestone. You can kind of see tons of bulk milestone points, tons of bulk planetary orb fragments, and then there's some other stuff in here for new players. Elite 4 credits, silver promos, gold promos, more credits, and stuff like that. There's some training mods in there, actually. Oh, there's 75 orange training mods. That's not terrible. I'll take that for my noob account, right? But it might be a little bit harder for my noob account to clear because I don't have as many blitz teams to run. I'll have to revamp my blitz structure, I suppose, over there in order to kind of maximize my blitz wins. Unfortunately, I'll have to do that. So anyways, back to the chart over here. So this is your campaign energy per day. Obviously, I've just copy and pasted this from the usual one. That being said, you're getting 7 points per 1 energy spent. It does, however, cap at 56k. Now, what this means is that you're going to need to core 2 extra times more to get to the 56k cap beyond the 200 cores daily. So that means that twice you're going to have to do a 100 core refresh just to maximize at the 56k point cap. You know, if you want to do that, you don't have to, but if you want to do that, that's what you're going to have to do. So it's pretty light in my opinion. I think the 200 cores daily is pretty normal, unfortunately, these days for events. Like, that's the expectation, is that if you want to kind of maximize the free-to-play side of things when it comes to energy, you're going to have to do at least 200 cores daily into that energy. Now, there's a part 2 to this, and this is going to be the ISO 8 energy spending on April the 17th to the 19th. This is going to be on Wednesday to Friday. You're going to want to be farming the hard mode ISO 8 nodes, specifically these ones, 14, 17, 110, 23, 26, and 29. These are the 24 energy nodes, aka you hit it 5 times for 120 energy. Okay, and this is pretty easy to do. You do not need to core for this because 6 nodes, clearing those 6 nodes is 720 energy, and you're going to get that without coring. You get 770 energy for ISO 8 without coring, so you're more than able to do this. This should be easy to do. Just make sure you do those nodes. You're not going to get a lot of orb fragments as a result of this, though. It is a 3-to-1 ratio payout. So that means that over the course of the 2 days, I think it's 2 days. I don't know if you'll get a third day, actually, because of the resets. It depends on where your resets land, I think. So I'm going for 2 days, but I'm not thinking properly. So I'm not entirely sure if you're able to get a third reset out of this. You might, actually. You might be able to get a third reset. So if that's the case, you'll get like an extra orb, right? I'm not going to add that into the math, but you'll get an extra 1 orb. Ooh, it's not a huge deal, trust me. So without node refreshing, it's going to be about 360 fragments that you're going to get per node. If you want to push it higher, I do not recommend this. Do not refresh the nodes. It's just not worth your cores, in my opinion. So you get 3-to-1 fragment payout. You'll pick up a couple of orbs, and that's it. Part 3. This is the Quick Rumble Blitz milestone fragments. There is 6 orbs in here. All you have to do is clear the milestones and you'll be good to go. That's over here in the Superior 6 Quick Rumble. It's behind my face here, but that's the point. It's just a Quick Rumble using Superior 6 characters. That's what you're going to need to do. And you can see here on the right-hand side, it's a very typical Quick Rumble. It's got all the other crap that the Quick Rumbles have, but there's 6 orbs in it here at the various milestones that you're going to want to clear. So make sure you do that. Hopefully you have some stars on your Superior 6 characters that make this a little bit easier. It's the exact same milestone as you normally would do for Quick Rumble. So for most of us, it's going to be a very easy win. Just take Superior 6 and just hit the button like 5 times and then you're good to go. And that's going to be on Friday and Saturday if you need to do that. Okay, so total orb fragments for Peter B. We add all of this up together. So particularly, we're adding the Quick Rumble Blitz milestones fragments, the ISO 8 fragments, and the ISO 8 fragments related to the web milestone. Obviously, there's going to be probably some in the free claims and the login calendar, which I can't account for. So what I have written down here, you're probably going to get a little bit more based on when this information becomes available. And I will also post this up on my Discord as well in the Boilon's Resources channel when these 2 informations are known. So when the event goes live. If we know the login calendar by then, the login calendar probably won't start until the day after. So I'm not entirely sure how much of this we're getting, but maybe some people from Australia or that side of the world who gets it a little bit earlier might be able to let us know what that is. However, until that, we're roughly about 36 Peter B orbs. 72,000 divided by 2,000 is 36. Now, the estimated value of the Void Knight orb was about 3. Rounding down, it's about 3. 3.07. Not very good. However, if you take those 36 orbs and you multiply it by that, you're going to get roughly 111 shards. Now, that's not including the free claim, so 116 maybe. And this is including, it does not include with the milestone. So including the milestone points, you're also going to get about 150. This is a 3.5 star Peter B. This is exactly where they want you to be. They don't want you to get 4-star right because that is where you get the extra rewards if the whole team is 4-star. This is exactly what the game is pushing us to these days, which is like 3-star, 3.5-star. That's the expectation because there's going to be a pass later on for these characters. That's just the recipe and formula, I think, for character releases right now is that, we get the event, we get about 100-ish shards or whatever, and then there's going to be a pass to give you like 40 or 50 more. And then, somewhere you're going to land at a 4-star. And that's kind of what things are going to be, except for you don't get that 4-star until a little bit later. Then they get added to the bumps, and then you can buy them from the Ultimate store if you really want, things like that. And then maybe by the time they're farmable, you have a 5-star, and then you finish them off, right? Kind of where my X-Men is right now, my Extreme X-Men, as they become farmable this week. Total reasonable milestone points, though, for the rest of this is about 170k. So that's adding all of these blue things together. Again, there's a lot of points coming out of the web. That should be blue, actually. But there's a lot of points coming out of the web milestone. That's like the majority of it there. This plus the campaign energy, it's like blitz and campaign energy. That's the primary method, and the rest of it's just extra stuff. And so that's going to get you to 170k, which is milestone 13 and a half or so. Just to double check over here. It's really about here. So you're going to get milestone 13. Actually, no, well, yeah, you're going to get milestone 13, which is the leader shards over here. But you're not quite here. However, I think we're probably going to get to milestone 14. We'll probably get that with the free claim, with the login calendar and whatnot. It'll probably push us to 14, which is just 750k gold. We're not going to get the rest of the stuff. That's highly unlikely. So a bit of a lower score for the points on this event so far. And I don't know if the notes are super relevant, but I'll read it anyways. Some adjustments have been made from the Void Knight event, but otherwise it's a carbon copy. They love to copy and paste their events. One major change is that you don't have to do the 8 rotations during the quick rumble. You just need to get the score, clear your milestone, and you're done. You did have to do this for Void Knight, but now it's just fragments in the milestone. The ISO 8 energy spending portion is limited to the hard mode nodes in the as bonus rewards, I suppose. So don't do it on like normal ISO 8, and if you don't have hard mode unlocked, well, I guess you're screwed. But luckily, it doesn't actually make a huge difference. That part is not necessary. So that's about it. That's going to be the end of this Peter B. Parker. I think that's all I have to say of this event. Oh, wait, hold on. Actually, don't leave just yet. I do want to talk about Attack of the Plants. I forgot. Sorry. This is the Alliance-based event. I'm going to leave this to the very end here because I forgot. This is going to be running on Wednesday. So it's not, interestingly, the same day, actually, that you're going to be running for the ISO 8 energy bonus stuff. And this is just spending your ISO 8 energy in your alliance. It is going to be a 6-day event. So if you want to core for this, you can. However, you're already coring 200 cores daily for your for the campaign energy section of the Peter event. So whether or not you want to spend more cores on this with your alliance is entirely up to you. Where you're going to land, I'm not entirely sure because I never really know how many allied supply orb fragments we get. Sometimes it's 500 in the free claim. Sometimes it's 1,000. Sometimes it's 2,000. But I'm not entirely sure for this one. But normally it's pretty safe that you're going to get to about like milestone 13, which will give you the gamma rays. Anything more than that, you probably have to push your ISO 8 energy spending quite heavily. And frankly, I don't really recommend it because there's nothing really too amazing. If you go further down, you'd have to whale out to get some of these later ones. It's not even that big of a deal if you ask me. So there you are. Otherwise, that's it. Now we're done. Okay. So until next time, everybody, let me know in the comments down below how much you care about Peter B. Parker. Also, don't forget that you will need this team for an upcoming raid. I think it's going to be an event raid. I don't know. And you're going to use them in incursion eventually once the whole team is out. Anyways, they are going to be usable in Escape from Kiln, which we'll have more details about on Friday, but they're not required for Kiln. They are encouraged, right? Whatever that really means in the grand scheme of things. But anyways, we'll have more things to talk about this week. Hope you guys enjoy your Monday. And until next time, everybody stay safe and healthy. And I will see you all later. Boilon. signing out.